Hello everyone, this is Deaquilin and I am so excited, like super duper duper super excited to announce our very first Loving Heart Day, which is our community service day. And I'm going to explain all the details in just a moment. Before we get into that, I want to say that this video will be shown to both Slay Self-Love Academy for Youth as well as Self-Love University. So both groups are seeing the same video. With that, I want to say that people have known, and people all have known for a very long time, that for the last 15 years of my life, I've served youth. I've done youth conferences, youth retreats, youth sessions, youth boot camps, physically live, and now virtually. And I did virtually online back in 2011. But people also know that I serve women in the same capacity. I've had women's conferences, women's sessions and Bible studies and all of that catered around the needs for women and girls. But what I don't talk about a lot is my heart for outreach. And I've had a heart for outreach for a very long time. And about almost 15 years ago, actually a little bit longer than 15 years, a little bit less, so about 14 years ago, I started an outreach center in the city of Birmingham, Alabama. And I want to share this story with you because I want you to know that one person can make a tremendous impact. Okay, one person can make a tremendous impact. So the very first time that I decided to do a homeless outreach, I said, okay, well, why don't we feed the homeless in the city under the bridge? There was a certain bridge that the homeless would be under a lot in the city of Birmingham. And so I said, well, I think that this would be great. And literally something happened when I had the vision. Something happened where the Spirit of God demonstrated to me why it was important for me to start this outreach. So I had an idea and I received the vision from God. And then what happened was I sent an email to some of my friends telling them what I wanted to do and why I wanted to do it. And the response blew me away. So a lot of people were saying, you know what, I've been wanting to do something like this. I just didn't know where to do it or when to get started or how to even do it. So I want to volunteer to help you. So in this room, and I wish I had pictures, and I wish someone had pictures because I know people took pictures. And if they did, I just wish I could see the pictures. But I worked at a local YMCA in the accounting department. But the YMCA had a youth center. So I asked, and you have to ask sometimes, that's so key when you're wanting to do something, especially in this magnitude of serving, which I didn't think that this was going to be in a magnitude of serving. I thought it was just going to be a few friends and we were probably going to hand out maybe 25 sandwiches and that's it. Well, I asked, could I use a room to organize a giveaway for the homeless? And of course they said yes. Well, so many people started sending things to this building, bread and meat for sandwiches and fruit and bags, and people just volunteered. Like, I did not come out of my pocket, I don't believe, for anything, because we wrote letters to grocery stores, saying we are a new organization, we're not 501c3 yet, but we would like for you to, see if you can donate. And people just started donating. That day, I'm about to cry, it's amazing, but that day there were probably about 50 people in a room making sandwiches for homeless people and making bags with fruit and candy and chips and all the things that were in this bag. It was just a beautiful, beautiful work. So we ended up feeding the homeless that particular, I can't remember if it was that, I think it was the very next day. I think that we prepped on a Friday and we gave it away on a Saturday. In the dead winter, it was very, 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 very cold outside. And we did that for years. And We would feed the homeless in winter, giving them hats and scarves and jackets, giving them food and clothes and so many things that we were able to give away to the homeless people. And I don't take credit saying that, it was all me, because it wasn't. But I shared this story with you to say that one person started the idea, inspired by God, of course, started the idea and put it in motion. And over the years, I would say we've served hundreds of people based on one person's idea and the work of people who said, you know what, I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, but I didn't know how to start, or I wasn't sure what to do. And I'm so grateful that you're starting this. So I have a heart, and always have had a heart, for serving my community. We ended up going from serving our community, feeding the homeless on the bridge, to the city put in new ordinances that you can't feed people in the streets. So there was a shelter where we could go and we could feed people, and they would let everybody know that they can come and get a free meal. So we ended up going to the shelter and feeding in the shelter, cooking the food there and serving the people that came to eat from the shelter. Beyond that, I've taught classes in women's classes in a women's shelter. We've had PJs and a book, where we would provide PJs, pajamas, and books for children around Christmas time. And we would give the moms a break and play with the children and watch the children and serve pizza and things like that. Now, a lot of this stopped when I had a family crisis happen in our lives. And so since then, I've been gradually and slowly working my way back to outreach, because that's where my heart is. So over the last 2 months is when Self-Love Academy for Youth, SLAY, was renamed. And last week I launched Self-Love University. And one of the biggest things that I came back to is that we have to serve our community. We have to serve our community. You can serve your community by serving and helping one person, or 10 people, or 1,000 people. But whatever is put on your heart to do, do that. Give towards humanity. There's a scripture that I read a lot, and I have a Bible here. I really wasn't planning to read this scripture, but I believe it's in Matthew. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. Well, I'll look for it on my phone. That way I won't have to keep flipping through the Bible to try to find it. And I would read this scripture every time we did an outreach, because this is Jesus himself speaking. It's Matthew 25. Matthew 25, verses 35 through 40. So I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to just let this sink in, okay? Because this is just showing the heart of Christ, the heart of the community. In everything that we do, we're supposed to look out for each other, okay? So verse 35, he says, "For when I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I was a stranger, you visited me. You invited me in. When I needed clothes, you clothed me. When I was sick, you looked after me. When I was in prison, you came to visit me." Then the righteous will say to him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you as a stranger and invite you in, or even need clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go visit you?" And the king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did to one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did it to me. This is God, Jesus talking about God saying to us that when you did it to the least of these, the brothers and sisters. So guess what? We are all a part of the human race. We all have physical bodies that have the same physical functions. We have different skin tones. We have different hair texture, but we're still all a part of the human race. And the heart of God is people. The heart of God is people. So when you see a person in need, then you're encouraged to help them no matter what. I've been in a position to help, and I've also been in a position of need where I needed some help from someone else. And so because of that, I am really adamant about making sure that I give back to my community. Every Wednesday in the summertime, I go to a local housing projects, and I teach a girls group. When school time is in, I volunteer at the middle school and I teach a girls group. And I want to go back to the shelter and begin teaching in the shelters whenever I can, at least once a week. But here's the thing, whatever your gift is, whatever your talent is, you're giving it to use it to help someone. And it doesn't always have to be a gift or a talent. But I always say that if you can sing, go to a nursing home and sing life into somebody. Sing a beautiful song to a group of people in a nursing home. If you can sew a shirt or sew a top or sew a headband and give it to somebody. If you can cook a meal to somebody who's sick. And it doesn't have to be, like I said, hundreds of people that you do this for. It doesn't have to be even 10 people. It could just be one person. One person. So I want to invite you to join me and join Self-Love Academy for Youth, as well as Self-Love University, for our very first community service day. Because as human beings, we're all a part of one community. And the last, 5 letters of community is unity. Unity. We are all one. When you think about it, we're all one. We have different beliefs. We have different different races, different cultures, a lot of differences, which makes us all unique and beautiful, but we're still united as human beings. So our very first, and I would call it Summer 17, Loving Heart Day, is August 29th, Saturday, August 29th. And I want you to just find, if nothing but one person that you can go see, that you can just sit with and visit them. If it's an elderly person, go sit with them and visit them for about an hour. Okay? You don't have to make this an all-day event. You can just do 1 hour. That's the least I ask you for, is 1 hour. But do something to serve another human being. Do something to serve our fellow brothers and fellow sisters. Okay? So that's what I'm asking you to do. So in the comments under this video, I want you to just give some ideas to other people, whether you're going to implement it or not, but just give some ideas of what you think would be great for your community serve day. Now, I got this idea because the church that I am a member of, we actually do serve day once a year. And the reason why they do it once a year is because this is a mega church, and they do a lot of things. Like they do health screenings. They do, health screenings. They build roofs on people's houses, and all of that takes time to plan. So that's why I wanted us to do ours every 3 months, because we're not doing something on that grand of a scale. We're doing something that we can do for ourselves. So once a month, once a quarter, which is once every 3 months, I will announce the dates. Or what I may do is just announce the dates going forward at the beginning of the year for that year. But plan something and invite your family, invite your friends to be a part of it, and have your own serve day. Also, I wore red lipstick and a red headband for a very specific reason. When you do your serve day, wear red, because we are a loving heart community. We are a loving heart community, and that's why it's named Loving Heart Community Serve Day, because we are a loving heart community, and we are going to love on people through our community service and show them the love of God. What did Jesus say? When you did it to the least of these, when you did it to the people that society thinks don't matter, you did it unto me. So that's all that I wanted to share. I am so excited. Also, too, when you do your Serve Day, take pictures. Now, the pictures are not for you to brag and boast and, you know, I served my community. But the pictures are for you to upload into the groups, both the Self-Love University group and the Self-Love Academy for Youth group, so that you can share with your sisters that you served your community, how you served, so that we can celebrate you and thank you for being of service to your community. Now, my godson, Dooney, his mom, she's in the group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask her, well, she's in the Slay group. So Self-Love University, you probably won't see this, so I'll explain this to you another time. But I'm going to ask her to upload a video, perhaps, if she's able to, or maybe even go live to explain what he did. He did a toy drive, but specifically, I want her to go into specific detail on what moved his heart and why he decided to do this. And I'm just so proud of him, and he's going to do it again this year. So with that, I wanted to just say thank you so much for being a part of these communities. I do believe that we are developing a sisterhood and an intimate sisterhood where we're able to love each other and love the world and love ourselves. So that's what's important. So thank you so much for watching this video. I didn't mean to be as long, but I'm glad that I was flowing so that you can get the information that you need. So put on your calendar. So that means you have a month and a couple of days, but you have a whole month to get together with your family, friends, your parents, and you know, figure out what you want to do for Loving Heart Day and do it. Okay, plan to do it. And like I said, it could be something as grand as feeding hundreds of people, if that's what you know, plan. Or it could be something as small as, you know, helping a person that's in your neighborhood that you know is sick, and maybe you go and clean their house, or maybe you go and feed them a meal, or maybe you go to the nursing home and sit with somebody and whatever. Okay, so that's all that I wanted to share. Know this, that you are so amazing. You are so amazing. You are so amazing. Take care.